6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dilini Gunadana, assisted by Sanjay, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President reiterated the government's commitment to maximising the contribution of agriculture to the country's economic advancement. Academic activities will immediately commence following the conclusion of the GCE O-level examinations. Japanese Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa to visit Sri Lanka. It is stressed that the Development Lotteries Board has contributed immensely for the development of the Mahapola Scholarship Program. Plans are underway to gazette 49 more destinations as tourism zones. Foreign news, Kenya Dam birds kill more than 40. And in sports, it's basketball, Timberwolves complete historic series victory. President Ranil Wickremesinghe reiterated the government's commitment to maximising the contribution of agriculture to the country's economic advancement. He highlighted the implementation of programs aimed at popularising cinnamon cultivation, a significant export crop in the country's history, as part of the Agricultural Modernisation Initiative. President Ranil Wickremesinghe made these remarks while attending the Dilma cinnamon launching ceremony held yesterday at the Goldface Hotel in Colombo. The Dilma brand, renowned for elevating Ceylon tea, is a global market, has ventured into the Sri Lankan cinnamon industry by expanding its domestic exports through the company, introducing high-quality cinnamon products to the global market. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, alongside President of the World Association of Chefs Societies, Master Chef Thomas Gugler, symbolically unveiled Dilma cinnamon products. Expressing appreciation for the resurrecting of Ceylon cinnamon akin to Dilma's success with Ceylon tea, the President expressed confidence that this initiative would mark the inception of a new era in the country's economy. Minister of Education Susil Premjantha said that academic activities will immediately commence following the conclusion of the GCE ordinary level examination this year for students wishing to pursue the advanced level. Minister Premjantha said that the measures are being taken as part of the Education Ministry's efforts to cover the school academic syllabus that had been delayed due to the coronavirus pandemic. He further said that it was also part of the Ministry's measures to normalize the time frame of state school examinations such as the GCE ordinary level and advanced level examinations in the future. The Education Minister added that such steps were also being taken to prevent delays in university admissions for school children. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Japan, Yoko Kamikawa, is scheduled to undertake a 2-day official visit to Sri Lanka on the 4th of next month. During this visit, the Japanese Foreign Minister is scheduled to pay courtesy calls on President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The Japanese Foreign Minister and her delegation will have official discussions with the Foreign Minister Ali Sabri during the visit. The Foreign Minister will be accompanied by senior officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunadana says that the Development Lotteries Board has contributed immensely for the development of the Mahapola Scholarship Program. The Mahapola Scholarship Program was inaugurated by the late Minister Lalit Athulatmudali for the benefit of the university students of the low-income families. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunadana was speaking today at the Sangwardhana Abhiman 2024 meeting of the Development Lotteries Board. State Minister of Tourism Diana Gamge revealed plans to designate 49 additional tourist destinations as official tourist zones. These locations will be published in a gazette within a month as part of the ongoing efforts to boost tourism. During a press conference held today at the Presidential Media Centre under the theme Collective Path to a Stable Country, State Minister for Tourism Diana Gamge announced plans to establish a dedicated committee tasked with preventing and monitoring fraud and corruption within the tourism sector. The State Minister further elaborated that the government has received numerous complaints regarding tourism harassment in our country. She said that she has spoken out about this issue before. Complaints range from overcharging for food to inflated prices for train tickets to tourist spots and even instances of sexual harassment against the tourists promoting Sri Lanka. The government is implementing measures to combat these activities. We cannot afford to let the reputation of our country suffer due to the actions of few individuals who make mistakes. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
On to the main news story. The government has decided to bring in legislation soon to confiscate property acquired through illegal means. According to Cabinet spokesman and Mass Media Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved to a proposal submitted by President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Justice, Prison Affairs and Constitutional Reforms Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa to draft the relevant bill. Speaking at a weekly Cabinet media briefing at the Government Information Department recently, the Minister said that the government is bound to bring in legislation for the recovery of assets through illegal means by 2024 as per the agreement with the International Monetary Fund. Justice, Prison Affairs and Constitutional Reforms Minister Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa has appointed a committee comprising experts in the field last year to prepare a policy and legal framework and procedure required in relation to properties earned from illegal means. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
On to Watchlight this evening. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena instructed the State Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government Ministry Secretary Pradeep Yasaratne to investigate the allegations of providing substandard rice and accepting money in the government's free rice distribution program. Following the Prime Minister's instructions, the Secretary has directed District Secretaries to carry out an urgent investigation and submit a report within a week concerning the problems in rice distribution program. And that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
The headlines first. Kenya dam burst kills more than 40. Spain's Prime Minister will not resign after allegations against wife. And EU restricts visa provisions for Ethiopian nationals. More than 40 people have died in Kenya after a dam burst following heavy rains and flooding. Homes were swept away and roads were cut off after the dam burst in Kamuchuri village in western Kenya. Nakuru country governor told media 42 dead. It's a conservative estimate. There are still more in the mud. More than 100 people have been killed in floods that have devastated parts of Kenya in last month. Rescue teams are digging through the mud in search of survivors in the village near the small town of Mahiu, about 60 kilometers from the capital Nairobi. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has said he will stay on as Spain's leader following 5 days of speculation over his future. Mr. Sanchez cancelled official engagements last week after a court opened an initial inquiry into his wife over corruption claims. He denounced them as a harassment campaign by right-wing media. Mr. Sanchez said he decided to stay on following expressions of solidarity from all sections of the society. The EU Council said today the European Union has decided to restrict the visa provisions for Ethiopian nationals due to lack of cooperation from Ethiopia's government over repatriating those who stay illegally. The move comes as the European government tried to tackle the problem of refugees leaving war-torn countries in Africa and aiming to enter Europe via perilous crossings over the Mediterranean Sea after organized by criminal gangs. And back to the headlines of the world news. Kenya dam bursts, kills more than 40. Spain's Prime Minister will not resign after allegations against wife. And the EU restricts visa provisions for Ethiopian nationals. And that ends world news. Now on to development news. The Department of Railways yesterday said that all users of land or buildings belonging to the department and those who intend to occupy in a railway land or building should register with the department before the 15th of July this year. The General Manager of Sri Lanka Railways said that occupying lands or buildings owned by the department without formal lease agreement is a punishable offence under the State Land Ordinance. And that was development news.
moving on with sports news.
The Minnesota Timberwolves won a playoff series for the first time in 20 years after defeating the Phoenix Suns 122-116 to complete a 4-0 Western Conference first-round win. Anthony Edwards top-scored with 40 points, 31 in the second half, and also had 9 rebounds. Karl Anthony Towns added 28 points and 10 rebounds for Minnesota, while Jaden McDaniels had 18 points. The victory came despite big efforts from Suns duo Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, with Booker scoring a playoff career high of 49 points and Durant adding 33. Minnesota will face either Denver Nuggets or Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference semifinals. They had to complete the game without coach Chris Finch. The former Sheffield Sharks boss had to be helped off the court for treatment with 1 minute and 41 seconds left after being run into by his own player, Mike Conley. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, Cabinet spokesman and Mass Media Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said the government decided to provide 34 acres for the construction of second and third phase of National School of Business Management, subject to the estimated value recovery of the government valuer on long-term lease. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that the Cabinet of Ministers gave approval to provide a land in extent of 14 acres, 3 road and 12.8 purchase for the construction of the phase 2 of the university. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. Finance State Minister Dr. Ranjith Siambalapitiya yesterday said that the government has taken action to increase the interest of the Employees' Provident Fund from 9% to 13% in order to benefit 2.7 million employees. Siambalapitiya said the decision to increase the interest rate to 13% is unique as it was approved in Parliament to give 9% interest to EPF beneficiaries under the Domestic Debt Optimization. The State Minister also stated that the fear or psychosis was created in the minds of employees that the Employees' Provident Fund is being destroyed. The State Minister said that government's decision to raise the interest rate has foiled the attempts made by those with vested interest to take political mileage by propagating lies. The EPF is the largest fund in Sri Lanka and there are 2.7 million active members, he said. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department says the intertropical convergence zone is affecting the island's weather. Showers of thunderstorms will occur at several places in the western, Sabragama, central, southern, northwestern and Uva provinces and in the Ampara district in the evening. Showers of thunderstorms may occur at a few places elsewhere in the evening or night. Heavy showers above 75 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, Sabragama, southern, Uva and eastern provinces. Showers of thunderstorms may occur at several places in the coastal areas of the eastern and southern provinces during the morning too. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the Sabragama and central provinces during the morning. That was the weather report, and prior to concluding, the headlines again. The President reiterated the government's commitment to maximizing the contribution of agriculture to the country's economic advancement. Academic activities will immediately commence following the conclusion of the GCE O-level examinations. Japanese Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa to visit Sri Lanka. It is stressed that the Development Lotteries Board has contributed immensely for the development of the Mahapula Scholarship Program. Plans are underway to gazette 49 more destinations as tourism zones. Foreign news: Kenya Dam burst, kills more than 40. Sports is basketball. Timberwolves complete historic series victory. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's back to Dilshan Dimel on the other side today, helping out a colleague, I guess. So it's over to you, Dilshan, for the moment. And a very good evening, Dilshan.